Hey guys, it is Epic and T-Rex here, and we are finally finished with our tiny home build. So we are taking it out today on its maiden voyage. We are headed out to the Hoh Rainforest. We're going to do a 2-day out and back trip. This is the Hoh River Trail. Oh, the mountains look beautiful over there. Me and T-Rex stayed at this roadside rest last night. It's a really nice thing to be able to do now that we've got the tiny home build at least finished enough to take it on outings. To be able to drive to trailheads that are far away and be able to stay there. That way we're close so we can get on the trail earlier. Time to take off, get some breakfast, and then we'll be headed to the trailhead. Well, we just got our tiny home locked up. We're in the parking lot. We've just arrived. According to my Garmin watch, it's about 10:30. We are here at the trailhead, just ready to get started. There's actually a lot of day hikes that are done from this same spot at the Hoh River Visitor Center. We've got the Hall of Moss and the Spruce Trail. Both are great day hikes if you get a chance to come out here for only a day. Right now, we're about to head off to the Hoh River Trail. So let's get this started. All right, well, here's our official start of the trail. It is 17.5 miles to Glacier Meadows, which is a really nice hike to do in the summertime. But right now, there's still avalanche warnings, and it's not that safe to do. But this is still a great trail to do in early spring. If you are trying to find a place to go that is not covered in snow, I highly recommend this trail. We're going to do 10.8 out to Lewis Meadows today, camp there, and then head back in the morning. And so we have a whopping 573 feet of elevation gain today, which should be fantastic for my pregnant girlfriend. You ready? Do you think you're up to the challenge?
I don't know,
ask Juniper. So, this is technically our daughter's second hike. T-Rex was actually pregnant when we went out and did the Olympic Coast hike. So this is Juniper's second hike in belly. And already we have interesting things to see. This tree is amazing. Reminds me of the Bear-Stained Bears.
Yeah, or a poo hole.
Or a poo hole? I think she meant that differently than everybody might be thinking. I think she meant the Winnie type. Yeah. One thing about coming out to the Hoh is that there's a lot of interesting trees. You can barely see that we're running parallel to the Hoh River. I think up ahead, before too long, we're going to get our first good view of it. Currently we are, according to the good old Garmin watch, just short of a mile into the trail. It's a small little side trail, maybe like 0.1 off. We're going to go take a look at the Hoh River. And here we are. Oh, it is a gorgeous day. I love the moss on all these trees. Pretty sure this is not a campsite. I don't think the first one is till 5 Mile Island, but if it was, I would not complain. Snack break, and I'm just now trying one of these Pro meal bars. I saw a lot of people eating these on the Appalachian Trail, and I was always curious about them. They're a little expensive. They're about $2.50 a piece, at least at REI. They might be cheaper somewhere else, compared to a Cliff Bar, which is like $1 each most places. But they're pretty good. I've been munching on this thing. It's really dense, so it's really thick, and I thought it was going to be a little dry and difficult to eat because sometimes a Cliff Bar can be that way, but it's actually really good. This is the like this berry superfood one. It's a really good meal bar. I think I'm probably gonna get more of these in the future. And it looks like we've actually hit a little bit of elevation gain. This is actually stairs. somehow I think it's going to be short-lived. Well, that is brand new trail maintenance. They still got fresh sawdust here, which means this tree over here just fell down very recently. Can you get a shot of that, hon? Yeah, that is a big boy. Not the biggest around here, but that must have fell this season because the sawdust is still sitting here. That's such a clean cut. Awesome. Thank you to all the trail people who do maintenance and make this possible for us to hike.
Look at that tree, it's like an old woman. I don't know if you can even hear the water over my breathing. It's harder to climb when you're pregnant. Part of the river is clear. Waterfall. Suddenly everything's covered in moss. I guess this little trail goes down to the waterfront. There's a big waterfall behind us.
Wow. Hi. That was awesome. So that was pretty amazing, guys. It's not often that you get to see elk like that. They're usually super skittish and run off really quickly. Those are clearly some habituated elk that are used to seeing people, which is not really a good thing, but it does make for some good nature shots. And here we are coming up on Tom Creek, 2.9 miles into the trail. I'm gonna guess the campground is that way across the stream, looks like.
So it turns out that we might need to make a fire. So we're looking for Old Man's Beard to use as fire starter. But we're by the river, so a lot of this is green and that makes it difficult. Good. The water still looks pretty clear. Very big trees. I like these logs with all the trees on them.
This place is covered in this wood sorrel. Looks like clovers but bigger, grows all over the place in this area, and it's got like a lemon flavor. A lot of times I pick them and I put them in my backpacking food if it's with something like rice or something that would be good with a lemony flavor. You don't want to eat too much of it though. It can give you a tummy ache if you overdo it, but yeah, wood sorrel. Good stuff. Now that tree stands out in this area. I don't know if it's just because it's missing all its bark. It's really got kind of a sun-bleached look to it. Well, this isn't the prettiest stretch down here where these trees fell down, but you know, you can't have it all the time. But man, these are massive fallen giants. Wow, this is pretty amazing. This is the first meadow we've hit. These trees look fantastic. We have reached 5 Mile Island. This is where we're going to stop in, have ourselves a hot lunch. So I'm not sure what makes this 5 Mile Island, except for maybe that out in the water. But it is gorgeous nonetheless. Amazing. So as T-Rex mentioned earlier, we probably are going to have to make a fire here. Somehow my fuel canister got taken out of my backpack. I think I know who took it out, but it's still my responsibility to do my checklist at the beginning of a trip, which means it's my fault that it's not in there. Most of our meals are O meals, which have a chemical heater in them, but our dinners, we wanted more calories, so we brought out these Peak 2 backpacking meals. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to train them out for lunch. I would do these at dinner time and make a fire to cook these, but we have some clouds rolling in right now, and I don't know if it's going to rain later today. So while the weather's fair, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip down my all-in-one cook kit that I usually have with a canister stove. I'm going to take off the neoprene sleeve. I'm going to build a small fire here, and I'm going to boil water over the fire. It's going to put some carbon charring on the outside of my cup, which I'm not super thrilled about, but it's going to be what we got. Sometimes you just have to adapt out here on the trail, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so I have this tinder that we collected on the trail once we realized we had this problem. It's just made up of some dry bark and some sawdust that we found from the trail maintenance that was done. So we're going to try to see if we can get this burning. All right, I got fire going. Didn't have a lot to work with because I wasn't planning on making fire out here. But, oh, we got a little trail spice in there. I'm going to fill this cup up. Wait till that flame boils down to some coals, and then we should be able to make hot enough water to make our dinner. Now it's just a waiting game. Alright, we got the pot in. Have this burn down some. Now I just gotta keep this hot. And we should be able to boil water. Alright, we got a boil going here. Hoping this water was hot enough. We got it to a rolling boil, so there we go. My pot is ugly, but we'll clean it up and it will still work as an all-in-one kit. All right, what do you got there, babe? Is it food?
It's home-style chicken and rice. It does look pretty good.
Awesome. So it looks like we got the water ratios right.
Rice cheesy.
Is it good? Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, well, now that we got the complicated meal out of the way, dinner should be easy because we're going to be using O-meals and they have their own heater in them. All right, I got pasta marinara, or beef pasta marinara. This is actually our first time eating these Peak 2 meals. I hear good things about them. Hers, I just tasted. It's really good, the beans and rice. So this is the pasta marinara.
It's chicken and rice.
Mm.
Very good.
Oh, this is good too. Definitely different than the Mountain House spaghetti. But yeah, so far I'm pretty pleased with these. These are pretty good. All right, we're gonna finish up lunch here and get to hiking. And be sure, guys, to make sure you put out your campfires before you leave. Well, we're back on trail after our lunch break at 5 Mile Island. It took a little longer than we anticipated, but you know, things don't always go according to plan. Definitely had to make that meal a different way than we normally would have. I'm normally a tuna and tortillas kind of guy for lunch. I usually don't do anything but one hot meal a day. I usually just cook at dinner time. But with T-Rex being pregnant, we did things a little bit different. She really isn't supposed to be having the tuna for lunch, and they don't want her to have cold lunch meat, or cured lunch meat. So all that stuff was kind of out for cold meals. So we decided to make the O meals for lunch because they're quick. You just heat up with a chemical packet by just pouring some water in there, and then it heats right up. But we decided to save that for dinner time and cook our dinners that require a canister stove because the weather has been kind of questionable. It's been sunny this morning, but clouds have been rolling in, and we thought there was a possibility that by the time we got to dinner time, we might not be able to make that fire to be able to make those meals. So we just decided to take the time to sit there and cook them now, and then we'll have our O meals with the chemical heaters for dinner, which is going to be vegetarian chili. So looking forward to that. Onward. Yay, so graceful. Oh, big tree. Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
I'm kind of now to the picture.
Nice. Get it, Rex. Yeah. So, Happy 4 campsites are right here. We've gone 5.7 from where the Hoh Ranger Station is. And our next break stop is in 3.4 miles at the Olympus Ranger Station. That away. Looks like right up here too there's an emergency 3-walled lean-to. Check that out. Yep. 3-walled shelter. Happy 4 emergency shelter, sure enough. So in a pinch, this would shelter you from the weather. You got a lot of things like this on the AT. I've never been a fan of them. I always slept in my hammock on the AT. I never did use the shelters. It just wasn't my thing. But if you had a emergency situation, I guess this would be pretty good. Oh, coming down this dry riverbed under this really big tree. Oh, looks like the trail goes up the other side. All the way around, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, she really did not want to climb that tree. Well, that's certainly one way of doing it. Well, that doesn't look very inviting, so I think we're going to take the detour. When in doubt, T-Rex patented scooch move. Looked like you were stepping over a note for sitting down. Looks like we are crossing the Hoh. All right, I think this meadow up here means we're just about at the Olympic Guard Station. Group site reserved. That-a-way. Up here, I think in this meadow, we're gonna run into the guard section, or the guard station rather. I don't think it's manned this time of year. Yeah, we've got to be close, because that is a privy over there. Here we are. Olympic Guard Station. I don't think anybody's here this time of year, as I said. There's a shelter to stand right there. Looks like it's got some bunks. Check that out in a minute. Let's see what we got over here. Welcome to the Olympic Wilderness and Olympus Ranger Station. Yep. Ready to get your pack off? Yeah. How your feet feeling? They hurt. We are 9 miles in. She's doing really good for a pregnant lady. She's doing really good for anybody, really. It's time to get a snack, do a little exploring. Check out this shelter. I don't know if it's another emergency shelter or if it's where people actually stay. There's bunks built in here. This reminds me a lot of... Yeah, it says emergency shelter. It reminds me a lot of the AT, though. You really see these lean-to style shelters a lot there with bunk beds and or platforms. I always felt like I didn't want to run the risk of getting hantavirus from mouse droppings. I didn't want critters running across me. A lot of people had mice running across them in the AT. Other creepy crawlies. I even have seen timber rattlesnake skins up in the rafters on the AT. And as you can see, there's plenty of cobwebs and creepy crawlies. I will take my tent or a hammock pretty much any day over this, but if it was an emergency, I wouldn't hesitate.
My knee is feeling better, but my feet are probably swollen at this point. I should take my shoes off and let them rest.
So yeah, she's been having a little bit of trouble with her knee, and then foot swelling is just a part of pregnancy, folks, so...
Well, I'm 24 weeks pregnant, right? And so juniper is the size of like a cantaloupe. So I'm carrying that in addition to my backpack, which is different than just carrying your backpack.
With swollen feet, and her knee, for some reason, has been giving her trouble today. Might be just extra weight. We don't know. So we're going to sit and find out how she feels after our snack break, and then that will determine whether or not we press on. I think it's only another 1.8 to Lewis Meadows. I'm going to check the maps and verify that. That was our intended destination, but...
We've already gone 8 miles, though.
9.
9 miles. So another mile is not too bad.
So it looks like she's probably going to want to press on. We're just going to make sure we don't risk injury, and then we'll see what we're going to do.
I feel fine. It's just my feet hurt.
Good. Wow. So according to this is a note about the Hoh fire. It says, the fire sparked by lightning on July 26, 1978 was the largest fire in the history of the Olympic National Park. After sleeping for 12 days, on August 7th, a blaze began, and it burned uncontrolled for 2.5 days, blackening, 1,050 acres. On August 10th, the rain came and extinguished most of the fire, but individual trees continued to burn for 2 to 3 months, despite incessant rain. Today, much of the burn area can be seen from the river bar south of the cabin. So, that's the cabin. And the river is south, the opposite direction over here. So we might have to go check that out. Well, we are going to be pressing on to Lewis Meadows. It looks like it's only about 1.8 miles, so just under 2 miles to go before we can set up camp for the night. Sun is going down, but the day's definitely gotten longer. It is 6:33 right now. It hasn't been getting dark till after 8 o'clock, so I think we'll have plenty of time to get our camp set up and then get our dinner going. Trail Junction. Olympus Ranger Station is a half-mile back. If we were going all the way to Glacier Meadows, it'd be 7.6 away. Elk Lake, 5.3. Our destination, which is Lewis Meadows, is actually not on this sign, but we're still headed that way. Oh, that way says horses. We are not horses. What's the people way? So that's a little narrow, and she doesn't want to cross that while pregnant because she doesn't want to possibly fall. So we're going to look for an alternate route around and see if we can find it. So we've come down to this giant tree fall. This looks a lot safer for her. So we're going to climb up on this and go across on this very large tree. Okay, I can breathe now. Well, there's our first bear sign out here. Bear scat. Looks old. We haven't seen any sign of bears out here, just elk. Lewis Meadows Camp. Looks like we have arrived at our destination. Awesome. This looks gorgeous. Well, it looks like we have tent sites available there. It looks like there's some over in that distance. And we even have some visitors here. I guess we're the visitors here. But there's some deer over here that do not seem to be concerned about our presence. Well, this looks like it's going to be our home for the night. We're going to put our tent right back here in this little nook. And then the river's off to our right. So we're going to go fill water. And they even have bear wires here, so Carrie Ann doesn't have to do a bear hang. Because she hates bear hangs, right, hon?
I don't hate them. Bad at them.
Fair enough. Well, found the river. Even looks like one of the campsites is down here. I like ours though. Well, we found the river bed. The actual water seems to be a little bit of a distance away. Huh. Well, this entire thing is the Hoh River bed, which means at some point during the year, it is a lot bigger than it is right now. This riverbed is huge. But at the moment, we're having to trek a pretty far distance across it to get to our water source for tonight. But I can hear it off in the distance here. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Gorgeous river, mountains, and sunset. Where are you this evening? Now that is a clear water source.
Crystal clear.
So this is what we're having for dinner. This was originally supposed to be our lunches, but we had to make our dinners for lunch because we had to make the dinner by fire since I did not have a fuel canister, and we didn't know if it was going to rain tonight, and we didn't know if we would be able to make a fire later. So we took the opportunity when we could. So this would have been lunches, but these are our oatmeals. We bring these out for dinner sometimes. If any of you guys have watched the North Cascades hike that me and T-Rex did several months back. You guys might have seen us bring these out. These just have chemical heaters that you put into the bag with your entrees.
These are 2 cookies.
Yeah, that's our dessert. That's actually s'mores cookies. We haven't tried that yet. We're really excited. This is vegetarian chili. If you just take this and put it in the bag with 3 to 5 ounces of any liquid, and it steams itself. It's pretty awesome.
This one says heating pad.
Yep, this is it's the same thing.
Oh.
So we just pour in some water. That's plenty. Seal up the bag. And the heater has a chemical reaction and it heats. It's very similar to an MRE. There's a little vent on the front of these and the steam will come out that way.
Is there a fill line?
There is not a fill line, but it's pretty easy to judge.
Okay.
Oh, that fill line. I guess there's a fill line. I've never needed a fill line.
I'm pregnant and it's my birthday, so cookies are a must.
Awesome. Alright, so now we got dinner and dessert, and these 3 bags are going to steam, and we will have meals. Alright, this should be about done. That's the chemical heater. And it's warm food. Brought out some flatbread, some pita, to make these meals a little bit more filling. Chili goes great with bread. Bread for you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for this cookie.
Kind of spicy.
Oh yeah,
too.
that's really good. This is gonna end up all in my beard. Best part is no dishes afterwards.
That is nice.
Clean your spoon, really, and that's about it.
Oh, there's a bug on my pita.
Here we just gotta. That's protein.
Beetle.
Just gotta pack out our trash on this. That's all. Oh, and then my after dinner cleanup. Gotta use my shmog. If you don't have one of these for hiking, you should get one of these for hiking. I use it for everything. It takes the place of a beanie, takes the place of a face wrap or a buff, takes the place of a sling. I wrap it around my puffy at night and turn it into a pillow. It's a napkin, a snot rag if you need it. It's gross after every hiking trip, but I use it for everything. It is amazing. It even works as a day pack if we end up slack packing and if we stay in camp for a day and then we go off and we hit another peak or something like that and leave our camp set up and we don't want to take our backpacks. This can fit all the food and water and gear that I need for just a small day hike. It's pretty cool. So yeah, shmog, definitely one of those useful pieces of equipment I have. All right, shall we look at these? See what we got here? You have your plate over there? Let's find out what a s'more cookie is. Oh, it crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. So, it was a whole cookie. I did not do a good job of getting it out of there as a whole cookie.
Poor cookie. So
All
this
right.
my cookie?
Unless you want it to be my cookie, since I messed it up. Well, you're eating it now, though, so I guess it's your cookie. Never get between a pregnant lady and her cookies, especially on her birthday. Oh! It's a whole cookie! Sorry, babe. I didn't mean to crumble your cookie.
Aww.
You can have dessert with dinner. There's no rules here. Except for leave no trace. That's a rule. Alright, so now we gotta go find the bare wire to hang T-Rex's food bag. I brought a bare canister, so I just gotta set it away from our camp. But there's supposed to be a bare wire around here where she can hang up her food bag without having to do a bare hang.
Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, when they provide the wires, that's always nice of them. Oh, and there they are. I can see them out there. All right, there's the bare wires. That'll make things easy. I'm just gonna set my canister up against the tree. What was that?
I don't even need this bear hang kit?
No, not at all.
Oh.
This is her first time using a preset bare wire.
It was just like the clothesline part.
No. It's on a pulley system. Alright. So you pull it till those hooks come down up there, okay? And then on that tree over here, there's gonna be a ring. And so you just pull that bare hang up the tree, up to the top, then bring those hooks over here and clip it in. Bam! And your food is secure.
That is a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are in bed for the night. Got our pads blown up. Got our sleeping bags rolled out. We are nice, cozy, toasty, warm. We will see you guys for breakfast in the morning.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is 6:23 in the morning. It's time to get up, make some breakfast, get on the trail.
What's for breakfast, babe?
I have hash browns. They're pork hash browns with an oatmeal, and it's gonna steam any second.
Awesome. Oatmeal makes everything.
And coffee.
You're gonna have to let me try a bite of those.
They look good.
Awesome. And me, I'm having a plain old bulk grocery store granola with some powdered milk in there. This is actually one of my favorite go-to breakfasts. It's really quick, especially when you're through hiking. Just get up, add cold water, scarf down your breakfast, and go. And we have a breakfast guest. Probably coming to get breakfast herself. A lot of wildlife out here. All right, packed up, fed. Campground is clean. It's time to make the 10.8 mile journey back to the tiny home.
So we're headed back out to the tiny home today, and I made it 10.8 miles today at 24 weeks pregnant. I talked to my doctor before we left to make sure everything was okay, and his main direction for me was to make sure that I don't fall while I'm out here. And we've made it over all of the big obstacle courses. I was pretty sore last night. I'm not sure if that was just from the hike, but normally we go at higher elevation. We're only at about like 580 something.
573, I believe.
573 elevation gain on this hike, which is not much. So I did it, and everything is good. I feel fine. We're headed back today, the same 10 miles that we came up. And I would just recommend to anyone that is hiking pregnant, make sure that you check with your doctor first and foremost. They say that mostly, as long as nothing is wrong, you should be able to do everything that you do before pregnancy and just continue on. As long as you're healthy and active, the exercise will actually help you through labor. And also make sure that you have a lot of snacks, because it takes a lot of energy to make a baby. Alright, well, see you on the way in.
Alrighty. Hoh River Trail complete. Well, guys, we have completed our journey. The Hoh River Trail is done. If you like these videos, be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon at the bottom so you can get notified when we make future content.
Now get off your butts and go play outside.